So the next thing we're going to do is color the whole thing. One thing I did notice was that in Romero Britto's portraits, sometimes it's divided down the center. Usually it goes down to the nose and then like under the nose down to the chin. And one side of the face is a different color than the other. And sometimes it's drastic and sometimes it's not so drastic. So I'm going to do that with my pencil really carefully. Alright, so now, and I didn't do any patterns on the shirt, that's totally fine. I'm going to be coloring my picture. So when you are coloring, if you're going to use paint, like watercolor paint, which would be a great medium to use for this, you would use crayon for all of your little detailed spots. If you are using marker, one good suggestion would be to use colored pencil in your little shapes and then do marker around that. Or you could do marker for both. I would just do all of the shape parts first, then go back with the marker so it has a little bit of time to dry and you don't get too much bleeding in between. So I think for this one, I'm going to go ahead and use marker. One other thing would be too, is you can use oil pastel. So if you, some of my spots are a little bit too small for oil pastel possibly, but if you do marker and it's like bleeding into the little spaces, you could then go over it with oil pastel at the end as well as another option. So I'm just going to use some basic markers. I have skin tone markers on the way, but for now I'm going to have to use what I've got, which you are going to have to as well. So I'm thinking, since I just have kind of like bright colors and I have crayons, so that means if I wanted to, I could use crayons for some things, but I want to use them after I do marker, because if I go over a crayon with marker, it'll mess my marker up. So I'm going to do all my marker spots first. I do have a skin tone color of crayon. So if you have a skin tone crayon, you may want to save it for parts of your face. I think I'm going to do half of a skin tone marker on one side, and then I'm going to choose a different color for the other side of the face. So let me go ahead. I'm going to do my coloring. You can watch it in fast motion, and then you can be creative with what you're going to use and how you're going to color it. I'm going to show you some other examples. I'm going to do some more of them right after this so you can get some ideas.